Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And we are back with the ladies in black, Carolyn C.J. Jones and myself. We both are on the same fashion page today. How are you doing, darling?
I'm doing really well, Jill. Thank you.
Oh, author, coach, forgiveness coach, amazing woman in front of me here. We are live on Zoom today, of course, as well as for the podcast. And Carolyn C.J. Jones, once again, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself to some new listeners and viewers out there today in case they don't know you yet?
Okay. Hi, I'm Carolyn C.J. Jones, and I offer forgiveness for you. What I do is I empower you to resolve resentment so you can forgive, and from that you find peace.
And you found your own peace, clearly. You're an author. There's so much to you. But first and foremost, got to ask, how's that wrist? I know you had a little bit of an accident. Is it getting better? Is it healing?
It's getting better. It's healing. I had surgery on it, so I have to keep it in a certain position.
Good, but you're doing okay.
I'm doing okay. They showed me the way the bone broke, and it was right along. It went this way.
But it's healable, and you're going to be okay.
I saw the wire wrapped around the bone pieces.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you're a strong woman. I mean, with all you've endured in your life, and there's so much to you and to your story. What did you want to start with today? Did you want to talk about forgiveness, the art of forgiveness, how you can help our listeners share some stories, experiences? It's all up to you, sweetheart.
I do want to talk about the art of forgiveness. You know, I spent 30 years really angry and bitter over my upbringing. And then I discovered a way to forgive. Have I told my forgiveness story yet?
Yes. Me personally, but not, again, new listeners each and every week. So could you share? Obviously, there's new people all the time, right? We have to remember that every time we speak. That's why I say reintroduce yourself. Yeah, we have to remember new people tune in all the time.
Of course, yes. I'll tell that in a minute.
Sure.
But then I was drinking and drugging over my anger for those 30 years until I crashed and burned. And then I got sober. 4 years into it, I discovered a way to forgive my past. And the peace was immediate and immense, just immediate. And I just want to invite you, if you are having feelings of anger or angst or anything, bitterness, anything, and you want to forgive but you can't forgive, or you don't want to forgive, then I just want to share with you that if you change your mind and decide to forgive, it is a super place to be. It's just a real super place to be. Now I want to tell you how I found forgiveness personally. One day when I was newly 3 years sober, I was doing a self-appraisal. I was looking specifically at the ways in which my behavior had led to the demise of my relationships with men I'd had over the years. What I realized pretty quickly was I used to get drunk and yell and scream at them that they were worthless and would never amount to anything. Oh, I was horrified to remember this. I didn't mean it about them.
No.
Thank goodness they've forgiven me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky. The thing is, I meant it about myself.
Yeah.
And with that thought came the realization that perhaps my father, all those years when he yelled at me and told me I was worthless and would never amount to anything, perhaps he didn't mean it about me. Perhaps he meant it about himself. That was huge for me, Jill. And what I did with that was, well, I started seeing him as a regular human being, not my father, just another human being who was hurting. I had compassion for his hurt. Over a period of about 3 years, a year, I guess it was, I went back and forth between anger and forgiveness. I wasn't letting go of that anger easily. Until one day I realized that forgiveness had found me. I had forgiven them. And I believe what happened was I opened a space in my heart using compassion, and forgiveness flowed in. It was remarkable, Jill. It's a feeling that your listeners want to experience.
Let alone to see you too, just by looking at you face to face, eye to eye. There's a look of calm, peace, happiness that you could just see when you look at someone. You can hear it in your voice as well, but I also have the option of looking at you directly. I could see how much life has, changed for you and how happy you are. And that's a great thing. And there's people that you are motivating and you are encouraging and you are inspiring with your story and journey that they could be in your place too. It's possible. We've all been up and down, some people and down, some people go. Life is that way, but we can get through it. Nothing is too difficult, right? What you've accomplished, you've shared your experiences with your divorce, with your love, with your break of love, your hurt, your pain, the drinking. And so you did it. Then on top of it all, you're now helping people. You're a speaker, you're a coach. You're walking other women through this process of helping them heal themselves. And you also had time to write a few books. So that's pretty impressive.
Wonder Woman.
That's your new nickname. You are Wonder Woman. That's it. Yes.
Oh, speaking of nicknames, have I told you the story about my name, CJ?
Well, I think there's somebody else who has it. So we need to specify CJ, right? But I really don't know where it came from. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, when I wrote my first book back in 2010, I wrote it from 04 to 2010. And everyone said I needed a platform. In other words, when people searched for me on Google, they needed to be able to find me. So I searched for myself. I put in Carolyn Jones, and 25 pages of Carolyn Jones, the actress, came up. Great. So I knew that I had no chance here, and I thought, I need a nickname. Well, my parents didn't give me a middle name at birth, and I didn't take my married name for professional reasons. So I started thinking really hard, and then it was, I know, it'll be CJ. And CJ was given to me by a good friend of mine after I was a lead in the musical in high school, and it stands for Cracker Jack.
Ah, you are a little spunky Cracker Jack, firecracker type thing. I just thought it was Carolyn Jones, CJ in the middle. Yes. That really has meaning.
Yes, but it really has another meaning.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cute?
It is. It's adorable. It's very unique.
Yes.
And by the way, just to remind everyone that is listening, how do we contact you? Let's tell them the website.
CarolynCJJones.com.
Perfect.
Now, email, let me give an email too.
Sure.
CarolynCJJones@yahoo.com. Email me if you're stuck or if you want to chat, and we can chat.
And you talk to people all over the world. Now, lately, let me ask you, with the pandemic, you do a lot of speaking work. Have you been doing a lot of virtual work now because you're not out and about as much? Can you talk about some of the places you've spoken and the types of stages you've been on and the people you've helped?
Well, I've been on stages in the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, in like 2012 2012 to 2016 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a lot of community leader stages.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, I took my program into San Quentin State Prison, and I gave my program to the men in there who were in a 2-year class. They met every Saturday, and the point of it was to get to know themselves and to come to a closure with their crime so that they could become citizens.
Wow. And move on, learn to forgive, learn. Wow, that's huge. I know you mostly work with women, but I know you work with men too, but that is an amazing story. What were some of those men like? I mean, after meeting with you and sitting with you and getting coached by you, what were some of the things they said to you about your time there? What did you teach them?
Well, I taught them my Yippee method, which is...
Yeah. Oh, that's the Yippee phone.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's the Yippee phone, yes. I taught them all about how to identify a resentment, how to resolve it, and in that process, I start at the beginning with awareness. You need to be aware that you have these problems. Then you move to willingness. You have to be willing. But one thing, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. One thing was, I gave it for 2 weeks in a row, 2 Saturdays in a row. Well, before the second show started, 2 of the guys came up to me and said that they had forgiven their parents, who they swore they would never forgive.
Wow.
So I thought that was huge.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's beautiful, the type of people you're inspiring and all the good things you're doing. And that's what it's about, right? To inspire one person to change one person's thought process is all it takes. It's the trickle down effect, right? Of giving back, and it's karma. I believe do unto you as you want to do upon others. How does it go? Wait, I can't even say it right.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
I tell that to my children. Thank you. Yes, it's true. It really is. And
I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay. These men, I'm just so excited. These men were really evolved, and they were vibrating at a high level. And so we were vibrating together at this high level of peace and gratitude, which are really up there on the frequency scale.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude and love and peace come just before... What is it? I can't remember the very first one, the top one. Sorry.
It's all right. It happens.
I shouldn't have, I could have not told that story. Now, maybe someone will email me and tell me what the top, that's a good one. Email me and tell me what the top feeling is when we're really vibrating at a very, very high level.
Yeah.
Above peace, love, and gratitude.
And when you're really at that high level, whatever we call it, it makes you more susceptible to the good, to the positive, to the right. You're bringing your energy up. I can't think of the word either, but it's your karma, your vibration's high. I think I know where you're going with this, but I can't figure out the word either. But it's okay. We can get through this together. But the truth is, you want to have a higher vibration and that positive energy because it's what you're going to attract back. It's that law of attraction too.
That's right. That's right. I've read that the universe gives us what we put out. Mm-hmm. It's that law of attraction. And so when we put out goodness and gratitude and love, when we put out those emotions, the universe looks for experiences that will bring us that emotion and brings them to us so we can feel more of those.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely does. And that's what we're doing here today. And you're inspiring so many people. Carolyn, did you want to mention the titles of your books as well so people know? And I know we can also get an autographed copy online as well. Oh, could you have them? Good.
This is my first book,
Yeah.
Opening the Gates of the Heart,
Mm-hmm.
Journey of Healing. And I don't know where my other book is. It's The Art of Forgiveness, A Promise of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a gray cover with a great big pink lotus bloom on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really quite beautiful. But that's how you would recognize it. If you're interested in getting this book, what it is it's the story of my journey from great angst and anger and bitterness through to forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
and peace. And I go through the process and let you know how you can do it too. And it's called The Art of Forgiveness, A Promise of Peace. Because when
Mm-hmm.
we forgive, there's a promise that we will have peace.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super important to have that peace for sure.
Yes,
And
yes.
by the way, the cover of the book you just showed, those gates, could you just tell us the area again in the Bay Area? What town is that called again?
Belvedere.
Belvedere. Thank you.
Belvedere.
Wow. And it's funny because I never heard of it until we spoke last time. And I've seen your book and I've seen the picture. I didn't even know that was from a specific. So now I'm going to Google it so I can look at it later when we're done talking because it seems like a beautiful
Yeah.
town. And what's the history behind Belvedere? Do you know with the
I don't
gates?
I don't really know, except that these gates that I found were sitting on the edge of properties,
Wow.
like at the bottom of hills,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't being used. So they were just quietly sitting there.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I Googled and it shows some beautiful homes like right on the water that I can't afford. Okay, but I'm looking for gates. Belvedere, California, gate significance. Let me see if it says, okay, because this will bother me too. Let's see, gates. Let's see if it says anything. Well, there's Golden Gate Avenue. I could tell you that much. All
Yes.
historic estates. It's known as the Golden Gate. See, I didn't even know that.
Wow.
But I'm not finding. Maybe if you live on Golden Gate Avenue, you have to have a beautiful gate. Yeah, because this house is worth 10 million. So, but
Oh,
okay, so
wow.
just beautiful mansions with nice gates. Maybe that's what it is. I don't see the significance on here yet, but we'll figure it out together.
Well,
And
I would doubt that they would put the gates I took pictures of because I took very few entrance gates.
mm-hmm,
They were the gates not being used that I took.
mm-hmm,
But the ones on Golden Gate Avenue or whatever it is, they were beautiful.
mm-hmm.
Their main gates.
Probably made out of gold for sure. Now, where are you in relation to Belvedere?
I am north about 30 minutes,
And it's Nevada?
maybe 25 miles.
And what town are you in?
I'm in Nevada.
It is. Okay, perfect. That's what I
Yes, it's
thought.
Nevada.
Perfect. Beautiful. Right near Napa and Sonoma, the two places I'm dying to visit. I never have. I will one day, and I'm coming knocking on your door and saying, hello. I know
Good,
you don't
please
drink,
do.
but I'm going to have a drink.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Yeah, it's beautiful where you are. I mean, and did you always live in this region? I know you used to love boating. You're an avid boater, right? Do you still go out on the water a lot?
I don't, and I
Oh.
miss it dreadfully. My goal, my dream is to get another boat, like a 30-footer, 32-footer, that needs the varnish done on the
Mm-hmm.
trim. And so I could probably do that now and get a boat up in Petaluma, which is about
Yep.
15 minutes north of me.
Yep.
There's a marina.
I see. By the way, I'm a licensed U.S. Coast Guard captain. So
Oh,
I live on Long Island. I don't even own a boat, but I've grown up around boats. I love boating. So I got my license maybe 8 years ago. I went to nautical school. I love being on the water. When you last week were
good
talking
for
about
you.
your stories on the water, on the sailboat, it was like, yeah, I don't get out there enough, but there's something that it does to your mind
Yes,
and your
yes,
body. And it's just so peacefully beautiful. And yeah, I
it
didn't
is.
realize you are so close to the water there in Nevada. Wow. So technically that's what, San Pablo Bay?
San Pablo Bay, yes, but Richardson Bay is where Belvedere is. So go
Got
south
it.
a bit
South.
to
Got it.
Sausalito. And
Wow. Yep.
I was on a boat in Sausalito, and I looked across Richardson Bay to Belvedere.
Got it. I see San Francisco Bay, San Pablo Bay, and then I guess this would be, well, I see the Gulf. So I'm in the wrong spot. I'm on the Gulf side here, but I will figure it out because I mean, and did you grow up in this area? Where did you grow up,
I
Carolyn?
didn't. Well, I was born in a suburb of Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and then we moved around many times until we settled in Columbus, Ohio when I was in the fourth grade. We stayed there until the ninth grade, at which time we moved to Kalamazoo, Michigan, for
Mm-hmm.
my father to teach. He was teaching physics. And then we came back and settled in Worthington, which is a suburb just north of Columbus.
Got it.
I graduated from high school there, went to college at Kent State for nursing. Senior year, got a Valentine from who I thought was my lover, my boyfriend, my, what's the word for it when you're married, gonna get married?
Fiance.
Yes, and the note that I got from him was that he'd been married to another woman. What a crappy way to tell me.
What? Wait. This was before you were married to him?
Yes, this is before.
And you were engaged to be married to him, and then he told you, by the way, I'm already married.
Yes.
Man, I don't get it.
I don't either. So I left Ohio and I moved to Colorado to live with the same girl who nicknamed me Cracker Jack. And we lived in Greeley, Colorado for about 3-4 years. And then I moved to the mountains in a ski town, and I was a ski bum for 5 years. Moved back to Denver and then met my husband. Actually, I met him in the mountains. But we lived in Denver, for certain suburbs of Denver, for about 5 years. And then we wanted to sail a boat around the world. Well, we certainly couldn't do it from Colorado because we're landlocked there. So we chose an ocean to go to, and we chose the Pacific. And there were these beautiful boats, and we finally found one, a 45-foot sailboat that we fixed up. She was in bad shape. And we never did go cruising because I fell in love with another man at the dock. Totally innocent. I wasn't looking for anything. And when it happened, I was so befuddled.
Now, were things good with your husband at this time or no? At this point, you guys were already on the outs, right?
Yeah, we hadn't been good for many years, and it was because of our drinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing I have learned since I quit drinking. 99% of the arguments we had were because one or the other of us was drunk. So if we would have held off on drinking, we would have been able to have discussions and solve things in a sane manner.
Normal, civil way.
Yeah, civil, yeah.
Gosh, so you never got to sail, but did you sail a little bit around California for a while? You didn't do around the world, but what happened after that?
Do the world. Well, the guy that I fell in love with,
yeah,
he asked me to sail down from San Francisco to LA area.
Okay.
The Catalina Island.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we sailed down to Catalina Island, and that was fun.
So how many years ago has it been since you've been on a boat, Carolyn?
20.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of friends. You don't have any friends with boats now?
I do. I need to call them up.
Yes. Say it's time. It's time.
Two of those friends. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Maybe you can write your next book. It inspires you to be out there on that water again.
Oh, I would love that. I can see myself writing on the water.
Yeah. Now, do you have family where you are or just friends?
it's just me, and I have friends
Good.
that I've met since I came here.
Mm-hmm.
And my family, my siblings live in Minnesota, Texas, and Colorado,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
Pennsylvania, where my folks used to live. Both parents died of COVID in 2020.
Oh, I'm
So that
sorry.
was really difficult.
Oh, how old were they?
88.
Oh, wow. Wow. So right in the beginning of the pandemic is when you lost them both? Oh, I'm sorry. Were they together at least, or did it happen separate
They
times?
they were, but they had to hospitalize my father, so they were alone. I know.
Were they were they healthy otherwise, or did they have underlying conditions at this point? I mean, oh, how horrible.
Not really. My mother didn't. My
Mm-hmm.
father had fallen down some stairs and hit his head and had a subdural hematoma,
Mm.
had surgery on it, and he was starting to develop speech problems. So the injury, it started to bleed again, and he just went downhill, and he got COVID from the nursing place where they were. They were at a retirement home, got COVID, and that's when they put him in the hospital.
Ah, so sorry. And that was so new, 2020, when it all started. And they didn't know
No,
what to do, how to treat people. And it wasn't, ah. And then
I
how long
know.
after that did your mom get sick?
He died in May and she died in August.
Was she
She,
heartbroken? Was she devastated?
luckily,
I mean, did she have a
luckily,
good support system where she lived?
yes, but luckily she didn't need to use it because she had dementia. And
Oh, okay.
so she never asked about Dad when she was with it, but when she was out of it in her demented state, she would ask and we would say, well, he's just out and about. And she wouldn't remember. So we
Yeah.
never told her what was going on because she never remembered. And we
She
would have
wouldn't
had to re traumatize her.
every
Um,
time.
yeah,
Oh, oh my goodness. And did you get to see them at all before
I
that?
did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. I
Good.
was out there in, I think it was February.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you for sharing that. I lost my mom at 62, 4 years ago to lung cancer. And I have a 4 and 6 year old. So I was all excited. I just had babies and I was like, my mom's going to be around. Loss is hard, right?
It
But
is.
it makes you appreciate life more and to value the things that we love and to remind everyone the art of forgiveness. Reminder of let's live our lives. It is so short. You know what? You like boating? I want to see you out on a boat soon. And me too. I
Okay.
want to start living. I'm coming to Napa and Sonoma. I'm going to visit you.
Yes, dude, that would be a riot.
Yeah, when I
I'll
get
go
out
on
there.
your wine tour with you.
Oh, thank you.
I'll crash the party.
Yay. Aw. But really,
I wouldn't do that.
you're very sweet. There's no party. I can't I'll bring my kids. That's the type of person I am. They'll have fun on the vineyard. They'll find something to do. And mommy has a little sip, a taste or two.
Yes.
But yeah, Carolyn C.J. Jones, you're an amazing person for what you've done, what you've went through, how you've set up your life now to help other people with your books. And I want to remind everyone how we can reach out to you. I know CarolynCJJones.com and your email is
Carolyn C.J. Jones at yahoo.com.
great. And do you want to leave a phone number or
Yeah, I
anything
can
else?
leave a phone.
Sure.
It's 415 686 0888.
Great. And what do you have planned for the rest of the day, darling?
Oh, I have to do my hand exercises 3 times today,
Okay, good.
so I haven't done them yet. And I have a mess on my desk, and I'm going to clean it up.
That makes two of us. I hear you. Yep. Got to do the same thing here. And then got to get the kids off the bus and do all that fun stuff. So it's a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for being here. To get a signed autograph copy of her book, go to the website, order it from there. Carolyn C.J. Jones. Thank you for being here.
Thank
And
you for having me.
and again, I like that we coordinated today, the black. Thank you.
Yes, very
You
nice.
oh, thank you, sweetheart. Really, you're a doll. Mwah. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
And to all of our listeners, please stay tuned. More of the show is coming up right after the break. Please don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.